Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Shiny Hunting, this time with Giovanni's tail on my face. Giovanni, say hi, everybody. Giovanni is helping with doing some Powerhouse Shiny hunting. Yes, I know. You want to not be on camera. Okay, fine. I respect that. But welcome, everybody. I'm excited to be able to hunt some Shiny Powerhouse Pokemon with everyone today. So I was just testing out the outbreaks with Beldum since I already had it in my Pokemon Go decks, and I could move it over to home, but managed in the little bit of time before the stream to catch two, which is what I was missing. So I actually was perfect on that. So we can go ahead and actually focus on what we're hunting today on the stream. So we're going to be doing some powerhouse hunting, which is the new name for pseudo-legendaries that they've given in the in the Pokemon universe. I think they did want trying to move away from the pseudo legendary title, but I am excited to be able to hunt them. So give me 1 second because when I see Caden and Sean are watching, exciting! Hi, Caden and Sean. Excellent. So give me 1 second. Move that over because for some reason it's fighting me. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna start off today with hunting Hisuian Sliggoo because that was one that I, up until this event, was not able to get uh, in Scarlet and Violet, which is excellent. Previously, you were only able to get it if you had a shiny in Legends Arceus and evolved it. So we're gonna be doing it for this event, which is exciting. So let's go ahead and locate an outbreak. Kumi's up there. Okay, Kumi. There it's perfect. So Hisuian Sliggoo is definitely one of the interesting designs. Um, as you can see on the screen, the difference has to do with the shell color. I'm sad because I really loved the regular Gumi lines palette. Obviously, I love it a lot, so I have a tattoo of it in its shiny form. So I'm actually really sad that they didn't keep that color palette going up through the Hisuian line. But I do like the gold. I think the gold looks pretty cool. So I am missing Hisuian Sliggoo and Hisuian Gudra. Um, so hopefully in that case, we'll be able to get two today. And I see Matt asking if another powerhouse Pokemon would get a regional form in Legend ZA, which one would I want it to be? Um, hmm, that's a tough one. I definitely really like. I would love to see something like a unique Dreepy or Dragapult line, though I think it might be too new to get a regional form. So in that case, Garchomp's already had a Mega. Salamence has had a Mega and a Paradox form. Um, Maybe they can get some OG love in the house and give some love to Dragonite. That'd be fun. Are there any ones that you'd want to see in Legends ZA? So yeah, currently Dragonite does not have any special forms. Dragonite actually has really been underloved in the general scope of Pokemon, in my opinion, because a lot of the other pseudos have had the special forms, megas, regional forms, whatever it might be. And for as long as we've had Dragonite, we haven't had one. So I would really love to see Dragonite get something special. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Kind of a nice throwback to the our original pseudo. Yeah, I'd love to hear what ones people would like to see because there's so many really cool designs out there in regards to the pseudos. Hi Ari. So yeah, I Hydreigon would also be really cool. My only thing is with Hydreigon, the same thing with Salamence is we did technically get a Paradox form, which yes is a different Pokemon, but it's kind of an alternate form. Ari, do you want to say hi to everybody? You're kind of being really cute and probably in the bottom. Do you want to say hi? Say hi to everybody. Woo. Ari, say hi. Thank you. That was a very cute hi. Thank you. Yeah, so I think Hydreigon would be really cool, but I kind of count it as having some sort of love since it did get the paradox form. So I do think Dragonite would be the one to get something because you got to give love to the original, and I feel like sometimes the same Pokemon get a lot of love, so having something new would be fun. I also like that they had the Hisuian form pop up in the timeless woods. Since it technically is an extinct species, you could say. So I do think it's cool that they had it show up in the Timeless Woods here. Okay, Breloom, I need you to get back on track here. Thank you. Sean asking, have I ever defeated a shiny on accident while doing this? So luckily they have built in a safeguard that you cannot attack a shiny while doing the overworld battling like this. So that's good. However, I have failed my fair share of shinies. There's been a couple of times where I definitely just knocked out a shiny completely. I was like, oh, I won't knock it out in one hit. And I wasn't using false swipe and forgot to save first. So there's definitely been some situations where I've just plowed through a shiny and not even thought about it and been like, well, that was not great. But luckily, I do like that they have the safeguard where in the overworld battling, you can't take out a shiny. Yeah, I love as a safety mechanism, it was really good. I know everyone was really worried when they first had announced this was going to be like a method of battling and having the Pokemon go out, but they had in some of those demos early on showing, okay, here's a shiny. Oh, look, you can't knock it out, and everyone was like, okay, good. So that at least made it so everyone was kind of less nervous about it. The one sad thing is just and luckily it's not in this region, but when you're in one of the other regions in Scarlet and Violet, if you're in the Blueberry Academy, you can go out and kind of have the thing where you can run around as your Pokemon, and that you can still knock out a Pokemon if it's shiny. So right now on my team, I have my Breloom, who is the one that's out and about right now. Breloom is kind of my primary catching Pokemon. It has False Swipe, it has Spore. So most of the time, it's the only Pokemon I really need when it comes to doing my shiny hunts. The others, I kind of switch them out. Some of them are ones I've tried to level up. Currently, uh, the Kilowatt Troll and the Belly Bolt are on my team because I was using them in raids, so it was just easier to have them here than trying to go look for them in a box. Mochi is my shiny Alcremie, and Mochi I'm currently just leveling up because I have all the shiny forms. And then the Beldums I actually just caught right before this video, so I have them in my box in my party right now because I do need to level one of them up. Actually, level one up to evolve it. So that's probably actually not a bad call to do quickly so I don't forget. Yeah, I often switch out my team just depending on like which Pokemon I'm trying to level up when I do outbreaks, just to make it so that I can level them up while I'm knocking Pokemon out and hunting since Breloom's the main one. Uh Breloom has Poison Heal, so Breloom will heal when it's in battle, which is nice. So it has a toxic orb, so that way I can just send it out and let it heal itself if the battle goes long. Cool. Matang is done, and I already have the final form. Cool. But Sean, this is actually amusingly, this is the Breloom that I caught while I was up in New Hampshire when I was doing the hunt for the shiny. This is actually the one that I was able to catch up there. Yep, and Breloom can also have Technician. I actually did have Technician on it for a little bit. Why do you not want to go out, Breloom? I did have a technician on it for a tiny bit. I think I had technician on it. Yeah, I had technician on it originally, and then I switched it. Effect Sport was another one that I looked at having, but because I knew I was going to be using it specifically for just going through the hunting, it was like, you know what, this just makes sense. And sometimes battles can run long, especially, unfortunately, especially with some of the powerhouse Pokemon. When I was getting the Beldums earlier, it took like 28 rounds to catch each of them. Like it took forever. They're they're awful. They have the like worst catch rate in the entire game for Pokemon. It's so bad. And yeah, it is good for longevity, especially since it's just like, you know what? A lot of times they're just hitting me with some moves while I'm just throwing Pokeballs at them. So they don't usually do a lot of damage to me since Breloom is level 100, and even at the highest level, the outbreaks are like 65, 66. So they'll do a little bit of damage if it's super effective. Like I definitely have had some. I had one recently where it was using a lot of fairy moves, so that was definitely starting to hurt. Um, but yeah, I used a bunch of timer balls. I think I ended up using like 23 timer balls, which was absurd. After using upwards of like, Pikachu, you were nowhere near me. What are you doing? Um, I had I did quick ball and then I was started putting it to sleep and then was going just hitting it with after I already gotten it down to one hit point, hitting it with repeat balls until I got to the timer ball level, and then I went through so many timer balls. It was absurd. I was like, I really hate their catch rates. Okay. Cool. So let me save, and we're gonna pop a dragon sandwich. So luckily with yeah, Beldum's catch rate's awful. It is. It's so bad. And luckily for this, they switched it up and they only gave it tackle. So it wasn't as bad because then I didn't have the worry of false swipe of like having of false swiping it, because if I had false swiped and it did have takedown, then I would have just kept losing them. So luckily they did for this outbreak switch it to tackle, which was really good for this event, but it was definitely got frustrating because you're just like, okay, I'm gonna throw another Pokeball, I'm gonna throw another Pokeball, and it just like does not end. Oop, that was the wrong button. Green pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper, 2 avocado. We're gonna do 2 sour. We're gonna do let's do I'll do a heart for this one. So now I'm making a sandwich to up my shiny odds. So in Scarlet and Violet, they've added a couple of mechanics to make shiny hunting a lot easier. So the first obviously is overworld shinies. So you can see if the Pokemon is shiny in the overworld. The second is outbreak mechanics. So with an outbreak, instead of the typical shiny odds of 1 in 8,000 something. And then obviously Shiny Charm brings it down to 4,000 something. When you add in the outbreak mechanics, if you bring the outbreak down to like take down the first 60 Pokemon, it drops the odds significantly even more. And then if you do a sandwich, which can increase the shiny odds from there, it ends up making the shiny odds, I believe, like 1 in 600. It's a really significantly lower number, which is like a higher odd of a shiny showing up. So it's definitely makes it really easy in order to find shinies. So right now I'm making a sandwich that hopefully, if I made it right, if I remembered my recipe correctly, will give me increased shiny odds for dragon Pokemon specifically. So hopefully I didn't mess that up because I was doing that one by memory. Look at the top corner, Sparkling Dragon, Tidal Dragon, Encounter Dragon. Yay. Okay. So now it should increase shiny the shiny rate and also increase the just a number of Pokemon that appear on the screen with the encounter power because it increases it from like being able to have like 15 on screen at once to I believe like 20. So it increases the number of encounters that can appear on screen at once. And since yeah, I probably should have done it in traffic light order, but I wasn't even looking until after you said that. Maybe the next one though, the next dragon sandwich I do, I will make sure. And yeah, I love that they have really fixed the shiny hunting methods for Scarlet and Violet. They've made it so much easier to shiny hunt. So the only thing that I wish they had that I really loved them having in Legends Arceus is the shiny sound and sparkles, which unfortunately don't appear in the overworld here. But you can't have it all. And I think at the end of the day, this is still an overall better experience than Legends Arceus because you can um, make the sandwiches to force specific spawns to isolate. And there's the first one. So you can see how much faster that shiny appeared. And what ball am I going to end up putting this in? I'll try a quick ball for the first one to see if I can get it. Nope. Oh, actually, I don't know because, yep, yeah. Yeah, it's not the most like it's hard to tell, especially with the lighting in the forest over here, but it's definitely not as bad as some of the other ones I've tried to hunt have been near impossible to tell, and then you're just like sitting there squinting. And yeah, poison heal is definitely a necessity in this case because oof, that was doing a lot of damage. Why do you hate me? Oh, I'm just gonna chip away at this thing little by little. Oh my gosh, stop that. This Slicku is just oof. Okay, that won't do too much. That's good. At least it's trying all its different moves. I'll give it that. It's switching it up a little bit. Can do so little damage to this thing at a time. I did remember to save, which is good. I did I EV train Breloom? See, now I'm actually questioning if I EV trained this one. I think I EV trained it for attack, but now I'm not 100% on that one. Probably I didn't even think about it because most of the time it's just like you hit it with one false swipe and it's almost dead, and this guy's just fighting back hardcore. Okay, one more and then I'm gonna score it. Let's see if I can. Okay, stop that. Oh, it has Sap Zipper. Spore doesn't work on it. No, what have I done? I made it worse. I made it worse. Well, that was awkward. You're a fairy. I don't want to do that. Here, we're gonna switch you in. I didn't think about Sap Zipper. Um, I think it's been enough time. How? Not think this through. Do you have any? No. Okay. Okay. Whew, got it. That was that Sliggoo was giving me a fight. That was a little intense. It's fine, everything's fine. Nothing's on fire, everything's fine. Oh, that's level 71, that's why. Yeah, they made those really high level. Do you have a mark? I didn't check. Do you have a mark? No. Okay. Cool. Okay. I got one. Let's get the other one. And we can evolve one of them up. Okay. I think that's the first time Breloom's actually run into a Pokemon that hits it that hard. Uh, they made those high level. I mean, it makes sense because typically when they do outbreaks of like event outbreaks, they are first stage evos, um, or first stage forms. But in this case, since it's a second stage, it makes sense that it's a little tougher, but oof. Oh yeah, I wanted to check. Well, first let me check. Now you have me questioning if I. Hey, I have not EV trained this. I probably need the EV train Breloom. But to your question on IVs, actually, those aren't the worst. I can definitely train that up. And yeah, I definitely need another status setter. Belly Bolt. Let's give you. See. Do you not? So yeah, look through, I'm like, apparently I did not pick Pokemon that have Thunder Wave. Oh, that's why it's not there. It's literally in the ones I already have. I'm so silly. Okay, well, good to know that I have Thunder Wave on here. Yeah, I looked right past that. Good job, me. Okay, so yeah, we will false swipe it down and then switch it out and Thunder Wave it, or maybe vice versa, actually. So that at least I can paralyze it. Okay. And yeah, I definitely need to switch up Breloom's natures. Nature and IVs and EVs, because I did not even think about that. Like I said, usually I don't run into Pokemon that are actually giving me a hard time with it. Okay. For some reason, I thought Belly Bolt got Thunder Wave. I'm surprised it doesn't. Okay. I just love how easy it is to get shinies here compared to other games because I shiny hunted in Legends Arceus for Hisui and Sliggoo for so long and had no luck. I did every Goomy outbreak. I managed to get, I think, one Goomy. Um, and at the time I decided I wanted to save it for here because I was like, I like the regular form shiny better. But I did so many Sliggoo outbreaks, or every Goomy outbreak, and I would look at every time I went past a Sliggoo, I would look for them, and they have Sliggoo outbreaks and everything, and I'm like, no luck. So I'm just laughing at how easy it was. Hopefully they'll make it easier to get some of the other Pokemon that are in PLA as well, that are in special forms, especially now that they've shown like, hey, we'll bring in Hisuian forms for outbreaks. But when I was going through my list of shiny Pokemon that I've gotten, it's definitely been really interesting seeing just the sheer number that have come from here versus other games, because it's just they've made it so easy to shiny hunt in here. So it's definitely made this a more realistic possibility than it was before. So there's still a lot of Pokemon that I'll have to hunt in other games, and luckily, they're slowly starting to bring them to Go, but they're also in Sword and Shield or in Arceus where I can try to hunt them there. A lot of the ones that I'm missing are legendaries, which I do have to hunt in either Pokemon Go if they have specific rates for them, or hunt them in Dynamax Adventures, which is easy enough to do. It just takes a while because you have to shiny check it every time, and every time you do it, you have to restart it if you don't get the shiny. So it can definitely take a while if you're doing it that way. Um, there's been a couple of occurrences where I've been very lucky. When I was shiny hunting, what was it? It was Matt and I were trying to get him Pheromosa. He had done well over 1,000 Pheromosa raids. It had been a lot of Pheromosas, and I had done a bunch with him. And so we decided to take a break on Pheromosa and switch it up because I wanted to get Evital um for my team, potentially for competitive. And so we did an Evital raid, and the first Evital raid. So mind you, this is after Matt has done well over 1,000, probably close to 2,000 Pheromosa raids. First Evital raid, shiny. I thought Matt was right. Matt was ready to kill me. But the fact that he had done all this hunting, I was like, oh yeah, I want to switch it up for a minute and do a different one. I am looking forward to Dynamax and Go. Um, I'm gonna be interested to see how they um incorporate the Dynamax forms. I think it's probably gonna be similar to how they do megas, and you'll just have to get Dynamax energy for them, which I think will be cool. Because then you can try to get ones with specific forms. But I'm curious how they're going to do it for the ones that have specific Gigantamax forms, because it's going to be a question of, okay, is it something you can catch? Is it something that you can select? How are they going to have it? Because unlike Megas, which had specific Pokemon that were having Mega forms, besides the handful of Pokemon with Gigantamax forms, any Pokemon can Dynamax. So I'm gonna be curious to see how they incorporate it. But I am excited. I'm excited that they're finally showing love to Sword and Shield in Pokemon Go. It has been a long time coming. I remember back a couple of years ago when they were trying to really get a push for Sword and Shield and incorporate more people, more things there, and then bring people back to Go after a long time. And it was before Scarlet and Violet came out. They introduced Zacian and Zamazenta to Pokemon Go as raids, which was really exciting to have the legendaries there. And then it felt like they didn't do anything. They had Wooloo and they had Squovit, and then they called it a day. And it was like, but there's so many amazing Pokemon that are Galarian. Well, they did introduce the Galarian forms. I'll give them that. They did give Galarian regional forms some love. But beyond that, it kind of felt like they were kind of ignoring the entire existence of the Galarian decks. So I'm really excited that they're going to be bringing the starters in. I'm really excited. I see Zinsk in the chat saying, and yeet. Yes. So I had on my competitive team 2 years ago uh, a shiny Dragapult that I named Yeet, because they yeet for their babies. So I'm excited that they are bringing Dragapult into the game. Um, and giving the opportunity for me to, they haven't released a shiny yet, so it's not going to be Yeet necessarily, but I'm excited to just have Dragapult in Pokemon Go. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. It's just such a really cool design, and eventually they'll have the shiny, and I'm excited for that because the shinies are really cool shiny. I really love the Dragapult shiny. But and they are bringing some of the Galarian shinies in, which will be cool. They're Pikachu, get out of the way. They're bringing in Shiny Wooloo and Shiny Squovit, and Wooloo has a really cool shiny. Wooloo is one of the really unique shinies that I wish they did more of in the game, where it's not just like a slight color shift, and it's not just a random color. They specifically made the shiny Wooloo design a black sheep, so it's a black sheep among white sheep, which I thought was really cute. So I will definitely be trying to get or at least hoping to get a shiny Wooloo and Go, because that's one that I have not gotten in any game that I've really wanted. But I'm just glad they're finally giving love to Galar, because I think it's a really good region. I think they have really good designs. I love the starters. So I'm excited to get to see them in Go. Okay, where is the shiny? 12 minutes left of my sandwich, so let's see if another one shows up. And I'm excited because the weather is actually getting nicer finally, because it's been a really hot couple of months. I'm sure nothing compared to how hot it's been down south in Florida, Sean, but it's been a hot few months and I have not been outside as much as I should have. So I'm excited to be able to actually get outside and go to the park and walk around. Winter is coming. Yeah, I I don't like the winter part. I like the fall part. So I'm hoping we'll get a nice fall. But yeah, unfortunately winter is coming and it's not my favorite time of year. It's we got lucky for a few years where we didn't have a lot of snow and it was very mild winters. It was cold. Like the first year we were in the house, we got like I think a total for the entire year like a half a foot of snow, not half a foot, oh my gosh, half an inch of snow. It was like nothing. But we it was freezing. I remember it being in like the negatives for multiple weeks because that was when our furnace blew when we were at negative 14 degrees and our furnace decided to be a great time to self destruct. But it's last year we did get a bunch of snow and I I can put up with it, but I'm not a snow person. I am definitely better suited for fall. Um Yeah, it comes and it goes very quickly. It's like, "Oh, fall's here," and it's gone. That's for sure what it is like. Um, and yeah, I agree with Zinsk that it should not be 90 degrees out when pumpkin spice is in stores. That's I'm not a pumpkin spice drinker because unfortunately I can't with lactose intolerance and most places make pumpkin spice with dairy, which is really annoying. But there is a I think who is it? Coffee Mate does non-dairy creamers, and they do have a pumpkin spice one that we get sometimes, so I can actually have pumpkin spice. But it's it should not be 90 out. I'm hoping it'll get cool off. We've been getting the heat alerts, but it sounds like they're extended only through today, and then hopefully tomorrow to cool off. But I have not actually looked at the forecast. I will say the weather lately because I want to walk more and I'm trying to get more in shape because Matt and I are going to Egypt in a few months in not a few months, not necessarily, but in about 7 months, 6 months. And we're gonna be doing a lot of walking, so we're like, okay, we gotta do some walking to get in shape. And it's been so hot and so obnoxious that I am actually at the point where I'm considering getting one of those like under desk walking pads so I can just walk during the day and try to do walking that way. And yes, all the time, Sean, I get shinies that are not the ones I'm looking for all the time. It's like sometimes it's like, okay, you know what? I have a if it's the same type of sandwich, okay, then yeah, that's and there it is. If it's the same type of sandwich, like it's a dragon and a dragon, then yeah, or like a water and a water, sure, that's fine. I understand that. I have had some weird situations where I have gotten Pokemon that were completely different types that shouldn't have even shown up with a sandwich. So it just means they were just happened to be random shinies that were not expected. So I have definitely gotten my fair share. I think there was one that happened. I was doing a hunt on stream. It was I think it was my first one of this series, this specifically the Shiny Living Dex series. And I was going for Torkoal. We did 3 Torkoal sandwiches. Not a single Torkoal spawned, but I got the entire Roly-Poly family. So I was like, you know what? At least I got something out of there, but it was not expected. Okay, let's Thunderwave it. And yeah, I'm laughing when Zid's saying, yeah, Carcoal was the topic of the target. Yeah, it felt like it because there was definitely not getting I was definitely not getting Torkoals there. It was definitely the other coals that were showing up, but it worked out because I needed the Carcoal line, but it was not what I expected, and I did not end up with the Torkoal, so I'm gonna have to have a revenge hunt, get my redemption in. But yeah, that one at least it was it was funny because it wasn't even the same type as the sandwich I was doing. So it wasn't even like it would make sense that it would show up. So that's what was extra funny about that. It was just like, okay, one could have been a rare occurrence, but all 3 of them showing up without a sandwich for it. I was like, that's just bizarre. So Who knows? Sometimes the game does weird things. Um, I've had I was doing something. I was looking for I was hunting Spoink last 2 weeks ago. I was just hunting Spoink because I needed one for the decks, and I was like, you know what, it's not worth there was an outbreak, and I was like, you know, it's not worth doing for a stream. It's just a quick Pokemon. Had a psychic sandwich going. Nope. Had had a nose pass show up, which obviously isn't a psychic type. So it's like, okay, something, who knows what's going on. Ah, yes. Excellent. Laptops for faster heckling. And yeah, they just wanted to join the team. They wanted to be part of the shiny Dex experience. Which, I'll take it. But Loom, stop expelling the poison. I need you to be poisoned so you can heal yourself. Did I save? I did not. I don't want to risk the Mach Punch. Ooh, if I could design a shiny, what would I choose? What would my shiny colors be? Um, that's a good question. I think I would want to redesign the Garchomp shiny because I love Garchomp. Garchomp's one of my favorites. And Gibble, they did a pretty good job with Gibble's coloring. So I was like, you know what? Gibble was really great. And then you get up to Garchomp and you can't even tell it's shiny. But yet they did an amazing job fixing it in the Mega, where the Mega is this beautiful purple color, and I love the shiny Mega color. So if I could go back and be like, hey, or if I could be like, hey, I'd like to redesign, and this is just the new shiny color, I would love to redesign Garchomp shiny to probably match that purple, because it would be really nice. Um, Alternatively, what other ones would I want to do? You'd redesign Charizard to be a slightly darker orange. Yeah, they really give a lot of love to Charizard. I will say, like, it's they really just went, you know what? We give Pikachu all the stuff as the mascot Pokemon, but everyone loves Charizard, so Charizard's gonna get two Mega forms and the really cool shiny and the Gigantamax form. They keep being like, here, Charizard, take more things. And yeah, so it was I remember when Scarlet and Violet came out, everyone was really annoyed because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be doing special 7-star raid events." And at the time, it was before they'd announced Blueberry Academy, so and before they announced they were gonna have the starters there. And none of the previous gen starters could be moved into Scarlet and Violet except Charizard because they did Charizard raid. And so they did a Charizard raid and they made it so that Charizard was the only Pokemon that was a starter that could come into like a previous gen starter that could come into the game. And it was just like, so why do you hate all the other starters and love Charizard so much? They really just they love Charizard too much. So I do yep, that was expected. Oh, thank you for reminding me I did not update my shiny counter. Thank you, Sarah. I was so distracted with trying to get the second one that I didn't even notice that. So thank you. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna try and catch it. Yeah, Breloom's not having a good time with this one. I'm hoping that when we switch, and there we go. Cool, we got it. I should have just tried before. Okay. Yeah, it's frustrating because certain costumes they do that with, and it's just I don't get why they have certain costumes that you can evolve and certain costumes you can't. And it's really frustrating because um The yeah, there's multiple Charizards that can evolve with hats. There's multiple Squirtles that can evolve with hats or sunglasses because they got the Squirtle Squad glasses that can evolve up to Bulbasaur or to Blastoise. But they really just went, you know what, Charizard, you don't get it. Which is really frustrating. So I have 1 minute left on my sandwich, so I'm not gonna try to do too much at this point if this pattern will leave me alone. I'm going to go over here and we're going to evolve. We're gonna heal you. Restore health. Or are you still paralyzed? Yeah, you're still paralyzed. Okay, do either of you have a mark? Let's see. Nope, neither of them have marks. Okay, so it does not matter which one I evolve. What are the stats on them? So I did actually get both the ones I needed because I am going to evolve it to its final form. We're gonna do this one's gonna get evolved. So we're gonna evolve it up to its final form, which then completes that line. I should name it Alton. That'd be a good name for it. Am I forgetting how Sliggoo evolves? Oh wait, Sliggoo has to evolve in the rain. That's still a thing with Hisuian, right? I know regular Sliggoo needs the rain. Hold on. Sliggoo. Does Hisuian evolve with the rain? Yes, it is still rain. Okay, let me go find some rain. Or you know what? We're gonna go to the next Pokemon and then we'll evolve it when there's rain. That'll work. Yeah, we'll rename one. While we're here for a moment, since Sean had a good call on that one, we're gonna change the nickname. We're gonna make it Alton, since that's where it was caught. There we go. Now we have a nice good name for that one. And I really need to fix your nature. I want attack up, special defense down. We're gonna take a moment to fix Alton. Ta, ta, ta. I think it's true. That's also a funny one. Okay, so I need to change my nature. Let's adamant nature. Yes. Okay. We're going to get rid of, because I don't know if it has any IVs and anything. There's the IV dropping ones. Hold on. Drop. Ah. Attack will keep, HP will keep. Defense will keep. Okay, we're going to max its attack. Going to max its hit points. We're gonna put the rest into Fence. Oh. Am I already maxed? Hold on a second. I might be already maxed based on cool. I am now maxed. Okay. That's fine. It doesn't need to be maxed in hit points. Defense is fine. Split the difference a little bit there. Okay. Cool. Bye, Sean. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. Okay. So at least we have a better nature. We have EVs. I'll deal with the IVs later. It's better than nothing. Okay. Because I think where'd it go? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine for now. That'll handle dealing with some goomies. Okay. So let's jump down. I don't even know if there was a second Gumi outbreak there. It was hiding, or a second Sligo outbreak. It was hiding. Okay, let's jump down here. We're going to switch up because Sarah is going to yell at me otherwise because I forget again. 2. Okay. We're hunting Gumi. Ooh. Ooh. Change the picture to Gumi. Ta-da, little friend. Okay, we have a little friend in the corner now. Let's go hunt a Gumi. Matt, just so you're aware, I just got and luckily YouTube records, so we're fine, but I just got an alert that that OBS is ending my recording because we're out of disk space. So luckily YouTube's recording, so it'll be fine, but just letting you know that I'm gonna have to move some stuff around and get things backed up. Time for some goo. Oh, what was in the bushes? A bug. It's not getting that good takeoff space. Okay, here we go. Time to hunt some goo. Okay. Sarah, I found your lost child. And Alton's off fighting the wrong type of Pokemon. Alton, we need to focus on the goo here. The one goo all the way over here. Are you lost, little goo? You think you're lost? See, your children are small, cute little puppies. My children are piles of goo. Story of my life. I love my little piles of goo, though. So, Starking Your Dead, if you're still here, you asked me what shiny I would redesign. What shiny would you redesign? I did choose. The question is, did I choose the goo path or did the goo path choose me? It's what the world may never know. We're gonna keep an eye out to see if it starts raining. Yeah, I did choose this path. I did literally tattoo the goo path. It's true. But my tattoo is a dapper little bow tie. He's a dapper little man. So, you know what? I'll take my dapper little pile of goo any day. Goo, where are you? There we go. So I need one Sligoo, or rather one Goomy, because I already have one Goomy and one Goodra, but I need a regular Sligoo. So I just need one. I'm pretty sure Taters would kill you if you try to put a bow tie on him, though. Hello, Bonk Choi. Welcome to the chat. We're currently shiny hunting some shiny Sligoo. Thanks for joining. Okay. We've hit our 60 Goomy. We're gonna... Not seeing it, so let's pop another dragon sandwich. Hope for that. Did I say Sligoo? It's because I was hunting those Sligoos. The Goomies. The Goomies is what I was trying to say. Sligoo's on the brain. Goodra is incredible. Goodra is such a good Pokemon. I love the entire Goomy line. It's so good. I'm glad that there is someone else in this world that can appreciate the quality that is Shiny Goomy. So let's pop us a dragon sandwich. Some sour herba in there. Let's do the magical star this time. We did the magical heart for the Hisuian form. And yes, since I did not put them in stoplight order again, just to annoy you. Because that's how much I love you. Too late. Too late. You missed it. You missed it. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Okay. Dragon sandwich. It's a dragon sandwich. It has to be a little chaotic. That's the point of dragon sandwiches. It will rain eventually. It can't hold out on me. And once it rains, I will have my Hisuian Goodra. Okay, let's get some Gumi. Okay. The shiny starters, they're hit or miss. Sometimes you have some really great ones, and then sometimes they just get really rough. Like we were talking before about Charizard is a really great shiny, um, but some of the others in that gen, oh, and there it is. The others in that gen don't have such as good of shinies, and then there were some really good ones for a while, and then in um I think that I kind of feel that the shiny starters almost peaked in um I think they peaked in Alola in my opinion in regards to just design, like color wise, because they really had some nice diversity there. In regards, like I love how shiny Litten looks, and I think that that whole line looks really good. And same with um Primarina. I think shiny Primarina looks really good. But from there, and yeah, there is a duck. There's just a duck chilling here. That's not a dragon, but it really can be hit or miss in regards to what the shiny, like the designs that they've selected with the colors. I think I do like shiny Fuecoco. I really like the pink design. That was the one that I really wanted to make sure I got early on, and so I that was the first starter I egg hunted in this gen. But the others are a little lackluster. I don't think they're really exciting. Like that's the only one that really stands out. And it almost feels like each generation they have one Pokemon that like the starter stands out, but it may not have the best Evo forms or vice versa, where it's like, okay, the starter, the first gen is okay, or it might be a little lackluster, but at least the final form's okay. I can't think of any starters since Alola that really start strong and end strong. And that one would be Litten to Incineroar, in my opinion. But it really varies. I wish that there were, especially this gen, I feel like they could have done so well with having some different variations in the colors for their shinies, but unfortunately they did not. I don't think I saved after I did that. Bong Choi, what's your favorite shiny starter? Okay, get the three. Okay. So in this case, I'm actually going to jump since I got the one I needed. I'm going to jump to Bagon. Let's jump to Bagon. Yeah, Gengar line is I wish they had done better, and I like that they fixed it for the Gigantamax form for um, for Gengar, because at least they made that look really cool. Um, and same for the Mega, that they at least fixed the color there. I wish they would just retroactively fix some of the shinies because they really did not do a good job with some of them, and I wish they would just go back and fix them. Tandem Mouse, I'm s- I'm so frustrated with the Tandem Mouse line. They just really, yeah, they did not make it they did not make it easy to spot. That's one I've tried hunting a few times, and it's really hard. You're just they're squinting at them hoping you can see their shirts, and it's just no. Blissey, yeah. I I I was lucky that I got um a shiny Blissey. um I had a Blissey Outbreak, and I did get a shiny one there, but it really was frustrating trying to spot it, and I was devastated. That was one that, because Blissey runs away, I unfortunately failed my first one because I was trying to save before I went into battle with it. And that was when I learned there's some Pokemon you can't save with, because I am getting attacked by dragons, trapped by dragon lizards, lizard bikes. Um, but they yeah, unfortunately, that one, like I said, I failed the first one. I tried with it. Luckily, I was able to get it the second go, but it was really frustrating trying to to get that Blissey. Especially since they did such a good job with, like, Chansey. I wish they'd kept the green color, because the green color is a really nice color. It's subtle, but it's pretty. I wish they'd kept that. Yeah, there are a lot of shinies that you can almost not tell. Famously, Slowpoke. Slowpoke. I've seen people that have literally had Slowpoke outbreaks, and they've been throwing their Pokemon out and attacking, and doing like the overworld out fighting in Scarlet and Violet. And they aren't sure if their game's just malfunctioning, where their Pokemon just doesn't want to attack, or if they found the shiny, because they can't, like, and they'll literally stand there and look at it between that one and the Pokemon next to it, and it does not look any different, and yet it's the shiny. So there's some that are just really disappointing shinies. Um, but then there are some out there that are really good shinies. So it's like, I wish they would do better on some of the disappointing ones to make it so you actually could benefit. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Where's Knew I forgot something. Bag on, open. There we go. I don't know what you're talking about, Zinsk. That's been a bag on the whole time. It definitely wasn't a Gumi. I am getting charged by bikes. This is reckless driving. Why are you just riding up a cliff? Okay, that's fine. Gravity doesn't makes the bag on tacked. Run away. Did they make these higher? No, I thought that said 72, and I was about to be really concerned at how high level these were. I'm like, how are these the same level as the Hisuian Sliggoo? That made me feel a bit better. Um, yeah, Gengar is a cool Pokemon. It is a bad shiny. They could have done so much better with that. Um, Goodra, I love Goodra shiny. I think Goodra's one of my favorite Pokemon. I have a shiny Gumi tattoo. So I've always loved the Gumi line, but it definitely gets forgotten. I think, unfortunately, because the standard Gumi has such a disappointing type because it's only dragon, versus a lot of other powerhouse Pokemon which are dual type. Um, and it should have been water. It should have been dragon water. It would have made way more sense for it to be dragon water. It has all these water moves. It evolves in the rain. It feels like they just forgot to give it the water typing. But unfortunately, it gets forgotten a lot because it doesn't have really good typing. Um, I think they fixed that a little bit with the Hisuian Gumi line, or Hisuian Gudra line, but with giving it the Dragon Steel, which is a really nice type objectively. I think Dragon Steel is really good because it helps cut that fairy weakness a little bit. Um, but so I think that one made it a little bit better, but it's a little disappointing still that it doesn't get a lot of love. And Greninja, yeah, I agree. Greninja's really cool. I see the shiny. I see that. No, stop it. I see the shiny. I see the shiny. Go away. Um, yeah, it is also a dragon in a region that introduced fairies, which definitely does not do it any favors. Um, because that was kind of the generation that dragon definitely went very downhill for a lot of people. But yeah, Greninja's cool. It gets a lot of love. I love the Greninja shiny. Greninja shiny is really cool. Um, I just wish that they had done a better job with um see, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Pokemon itself. I think it's more in regards to how like public perception is on it because it's just such a favorite because of Ash's Greninja. So I think it ends up coming down to people hyping it up because of Ash's bond with his. Um, so I think it's hit or miss on some of those Pokemon just because people tend to remember things that Ash have. Um, and then hi Tris Tacos, thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming and joining us on this Powerhouse Pokemon Shiny Hunt. Right now we are hunting Shiny Bagon. I got one so far. Oh, let me pause. Or not pause, let me update my count. Because I got one. We need two more to hopefully get that whole line. But yeah, thank you for joining. Feel free to, we're just chatting about some of our favorite shinies, some of our favorite Pokemon, what shinies that we wish were better. So you're welcome to jump in, ask questions, join the conversation. Um, Thank you, Zinsk. I did update it, so thank you for reminding me. This time I was trying to keep on top of it so you didn't yell at me. Uh, and so shiny Trico I don't currently have yet. It is on my list. My plan is because today I'm doing the Powerhouse Hunt, which I'm going to continue on Friday if I don't get all the ones I wanted to today. Um, but I am planning on doing a starter day in the near future to hopefully be able to get some of the starters I'm missing. So Trico is one of the ones that is on there because I do need that whole line. I think I might have one from Go, but I definitely still need a bunch more if I don't have or if I don't need all three, I definitely need at least two. So I definitely am planning on doing a generation themed starter stream, trying to hit some starters. So if you haven't already, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And keep a lookout because I'll be doing those in the near future for sure. And thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see if we have any more Bagons that can show up. So we got the one. Come on, Bagon, if you show up quickly, I'll let it so you can fly. I know how much you really want to fly. Woo! You're you're a bike. You can't fly. You do not have wings. You are not my ride Pokemon. Please stop. I do not have a shiny bike yet. So if that shiny bike does show up, I will be grabbing it because that is one that I have tried to hunt and not had any luck with. So if the shiny bike does show up, I will be grabbing that. So I guess that's the one upside of it spawning in this area. So at least it's spawning with the dragon sandwich. There it goes. Perfect. So yeah, it's actually interesting because I've thought about that a lot, and I was thinking about it the other day, especially because in Pokemon Sleep you can Slowpoke Tail is an ingredient that you can use there. So in that case, like, you know what? Okay, slowpoke tail we've established, and they've established throughout lore people eat slowpoke tails. Slowpokes lose them, regrow them. It's not painful for them. But there are definitely a lot of Pokemon um that do come up in regards to being edible. So, cloth, I see Zen's in the chat saying cloth. Yeah, cloth in the description. It's also a purchasable ingredient here that you can put in your sandwiches. So cloth is one that people eat. Cloth claws, they've said, are like highly sought after. Um, I know capsicid's teeth have been established as being edible, and people use them for spices. Um, there's Veluza drops fillets when it's trying to go faster, and it's trying to catch prey and trying to speed up. And those fillets are apparently very delicious. It's right in the Pokedex entry. Um, People eat the toad school and toad scroll flaps. Oh my gosh, stop this. Bite, go away, go away. People eat the flaps on toad school and toad scroll because they're edible and apparently very delicious. So there's definitely a lot of Pokemon out there that people at least eat parts of, even if it's not something that is killing the Pokemon to do. But there are plenty of Pokemon that at least have edible parts per their Pokedex. So it definitely makes it interesting because it makes you wonder, like, okay, what's being eaten where, and how do people be like, oh yeah, you know what? Veluza's dropped this chunk of flesh as it was running away from me. I wonder what it tastes like. But I think that's like that with anything. Like, who's the first person to ever try certain foods and decide, oh, that's actually really good? Because someone had to be the first one, right? Hi, Elijah. Welcome to the stream. Currently, we are hunting Bagon. So we're shiny hunting Powerhouse Pokemon, and we are looking for shiny Bagon. Okay. Come on. Where's the green Pokemon? But I think in general, there are just some weird Pokedex entries, like you were referencing the one of people eating Appleton's skin. Yeah, there's some weird Pokedex entries out there that kind of make you stop and go, "Does have people read this? Like, who wrote this? Who's the one that witnessed this horrific event, or who's the one that tried this thing?" So it makes you laugh when you think about like the context of, oh, they're sending usually kids out there to go find these Pokemon. And okay, what are these kids now experiencing? Like, what have they witnessed to write these events, write these events into their Pokedexes? And that's a great question, Snarky Nerdette. So, yeah, so there's certain Pokemon, and I've basically made a spreadsheet of Pokemon that I'm intending on hunting. So some Pokemon, as of right now, my intention is to try to get every form. Other Pokemon, it would be incredibly unrealistic for me to try to get every form. So my primary intent is to only get one. And if I happen to get more or happen to have time towards the end to hunt them, then I will. So for example, Unknown, it is very difficult to shiny hunt Unknown. I currently have one, technically I have two different ones. Um, so I'm not planning at this time to hunt the shiny hunt all 28 unknown, but maybe down the line I might make an unknown hunting day or try to do some hunting of them in Legends Arceus. Um, certain Pokemon like Squawkabilly, certain Pokemon like Deerling, I am trying to get multiple forms of. I'm also trying to get certain, not all Pokemon that have gender differences, but some. Like, I don't really care about Gyarados gender differences. It's a very minor gender difference. But gender differences like Pyroar or Oinkologne, I'm currently trying to get. So there are chances of me going for certain ones. But as of right now, kind of the ruling I'm going with on my own, kind of for my own mental sanity, is just okay, I want to get at least one of each Pokemon, not counting multiple forms, but some of them I'm going to try to get just because I think it'd be cool. Um, what Pokedex lore makes you go, hmm? Um, oh, I mean, we have ones that are talking about how we have Pokemon that are hotter than the surface of the sun, which makes you question if that's accurate or hyperbole. And if it's hyperbole, then at least it feels a little less terrifying than if we have Pokemon that are literally hot enough to just boil oceans and melt the skin off our flesh, or melt the flesh off our bones. So ones like that definitely make me go, there's also some that are just kind of terrifying. If you look at like who is it? I think it's Gothitelle. Um talks about like basically showing you the heat death of the universe. There's some really weird dex entries out there that I'm just like, what have people experienced to write this? Oh my gosh. Hello, Ariana. My cat just sat up and yawned, like, oh, are we talking to people? So yeah, there's some definitely some hello. My cat is now like, oh, we're talking. Yes, hello. Come sit with me, thank you. I have Ari's chair next to me, so hopefully she can just sit in it and supervise from her spot. There's a second one. Good, good, good. Yeah, Spinda's another one. Um, as in said, Spinda's another one that I am just not at this point attempting to get more than one of. Um, there are a lot of Spindas. It would take me probably the rest of my life if I wanted to get all of them, if that's even possible. So I am electing for my own mental sanity to not try to get every Spinda. But hello, Apollo. Welcome. Tell Zinsk to feed you. There's only 4 billion, you know. That's totally obtainable. I'm still on the fence if I want to try to get all the Pavilion. Like we're at that point. Like I'm not even thinking about the Spindas. Yeah, Drifloon's one of those that you're just like, it's a scary Pokemon if you think about it. Some of the ghost Pokemon, their Pokedex entries are really depressing. If you look at oh my gosh, you look at um like Grievard, it's like these are sad. Like these are people's pets and people's friends that just like are gone now. And it's like, oh, that's kind of depressing. Um, and Drifloon's one of those like ghost Pokemon that you're just like, this is really kind of ominous and terrifying. Um, yeah, Spoink is another one that it's like, oh, that's that poor Pokemon. If like it stops bouncing and it's like, ooh, that's horrifying. I do like with Drifloon that with what they did in Legends Arceus with having the side quest where the Drifloon's trying to kidnap a kid. I thought that was a funny nod to how absolutely horrific that Pokedex entry is. You gonna help me with the lucky beans? You gonna help me with the lucky beans? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi? Say hi. Can you say hi? Look, your lucky beans got it. Your lucky beans got the bag on. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm letting you down. I'll stick it in here so it can evolve. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot with just the ghost Pokemon. They're just like, what how can we make this Pokedex entry horrific and mentally scarring? Because I feel like that's half the time that's what happens to ghost Pokemon is just how can we make this sound horrible? Um, but um yeah, it's I feel like every time with ghost Pokemon, every gen, they're just like, what ghost Pokemon like we absolutely make break your heart over? This one will evolve as soon as it can. We're just going to catch one more. Yeah, Cubone wearing its parent's skull. I mean, all of them are just like, this is depressing. It's it's just kind of just wild to me on some of the dexes that they're just like, who came up with this? Whose bright idea was this horrific event? But one of the things I do like is that they do change up the dex entries between games and between gens. So, like the dex entries in Scarlet are different than the ones in Violet, which are both different than the ones in Sword and Shield, etc. So they have made it so there are some really cool like things you can learn about different Pokemon. Um, and it's definitely made it for some interesting like speculation in regards to like other future generations of Pokemon or future regions. I know when they were talking about like Q-Font, they in the um in the decks in Galar, it says that they aren't native there. And so people had assumed that like, okay, maybe they'll be native here then in Paldea because they're from Paldea, but it also states that they're not from Paldea. So it has made people speculate that they might be from a future region, that we might end up getting like a native species of them in a future generation, which I think would be really cool. So I do think that that one's like kind of a cool little like, oh, there might be future things that they're dropping in lore. Um, and yeah, I love what they did with Lapras in regards to it used to be super rare. Which is kind of a cool nod. I've heard there's like a story of a kid that had seen the original um Lapras Pokedex entry where it talked about how they were endangered, and the kid ended up like in the game, in like future games breeding eggs when you could breed eggs, and breeding eggs and releasing them in I believe it was like second gen or third gen. And because of that, and like had posted and like talked about it and made like posts about it, or his family had, and then everyone in the chat saying they ended up updating it in the future in a future Pokedex entry specifically stating that it used to be endangered, but it's due to repopulation efforts, which I thought was a really kind of a nice nod to just the fans and what people have done in the past, like been involved with the fandom and how it's affected people's lives. So I did think that was really cool. Yeah, some of the mega entries are also like you're saying in the chat. There's some of the mega entries are really distressing too. I again, sometimes I wonder what goes people's head through people's heads, like their designers' heads when they come up with some of these Pokemon, because it's like that's that's distressing. Well, like, if you look at Bagon, like, since I'm putting Bagon as top of mind, like, Bagon's entries often talk about how it throws itself off of cliffs because it wants to fly. Like, that's so depressing. Like, it just you're like, "Wait, what? Don't do that. That's so sad." So, it's sometimes they just have some really, like, distressing Pokédex entries. Um Though I do like how it can impact like Pokemon behaviors. So in Legends Arceus, which was really kind of the first time we had overworld Pokemon that really behaved like the my sandwich is up. Overworld Pokemon that behaved like that behaved like they were described in their Pokedex or kind of by their nature. So if they were skittish, they were more likely to run away, things like that. Um, and that was kind of the first time they'd really done that in PLA. And so I do like how they've really made it that interesting things can happen around certain Pokemon. Like certain Pokemon are more likely to run away or trying to be aggressive. Um, I think this is what it says back on. Let's see. This one just talks about longingly hopes. But I've definitely seen a different gen. It talks about like flying and pulling itself off cliffs. I'm like, that's so sad. Um, but they've definitely I've definitely seen ones where I'm just like they lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, Pokemon natures and how they interact with things. So I do like how they've made it so like sometimes Pokemon will attack, some will run away, some are really aggressive. And I love how like in Legends Arceus, if you get hurt near a Chansey or a Blissey, um, they'll run over to try to help you. Which is so funny because normally if you go around them, they run away. They are like out of there so fast that they see you, they're gone. But if you, for example, because you can take personal damage in the game, if you fall and take damage but don't take enough damage to die, you just take damage, um, they will run over to try to give you an egg, which is so cute because it's like, oh, they really thought that through, which I liked. Okay, we're going to yeah, and then the Alpha Blissey will come kick your butt. That Alpha Blissey, it's that Alpha Blissey is definitely the definition of call an ambulance, but not for me because that Alpha Blissey, I have had my butt kicked by that Alpha Blissey one too many times. Okay, Sarah, and just for you, since I put it right in the middle for you, you can't say I've never done anything for you. Okay, one more bag on. Wow, the bikes are swarming again. Bike season. Ah, Jessica. There's so many bikes. I don't want any bikes. Please go away. Okay. Ah! Well, I ran to the. Oh, no, I thought I ran into the bag on first. I did not. Please go away. But uh, kind of back to questions about this my shiny hunting and the Pokemon that I'm hunting for. Um, I'm looking on figuring out how to release like a link to my standing document of like what I'm looking what I've gotten and what I'm still trying to hunt, which does break down the Pokemon that I am actively hunting versus ones that are unobtainable because there are a handful of Pokemon that are either shiny locked or were only available in shinies from certain events that are no longer accessible. So there's a handful of Pokemon that I'm going to be unable to shiny hunt until they release them for specific things or if they ever re-release them for events. But it also details out like the different like things like Spindas and such. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. So it's details out like I'm not gonna be hunting the Spindas. I'm not talks about like the Furfrows, which are gonna be near impossible to hunt. So I'm gonna only do the one, things like that. So I am going to look on how to put kind of have a standing link to that. So that way people can see updates. Oh no, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come back, Shiny, come back. um So and luckily, sometimes they end up releasing Pokemon that are shiny locked in regular games in other ways, like in Pokemon Go. So like I recently just got the shiny Jirachi since I was able to get it through Pokemon Go. So I just moved that one over. I was able to get the shiny Genesect through raids that way in Pokemon Go. So luckily, there's some that do get released that way that I'm able to get. They're going to be releasing Shiny Zacian and Shiny Zamazenta that way. I already have Shiny Zacian from the GameStop release that they did, the special GameStop release a few years ago. But I need a Zamazenta still. So I'm going to try to get it through doing raids in Pokemon Go. So there's some that I'm going to try to get that way and hope that they'll release some special ones through Pokemon Go like they've done with each generation with like um Jirachi, Mew, etc. So I'm hoping that I can get some that way. There's some that I just have to basically wait until the raids start up again. Like Deoxys. The only way I'm gonna potentially get that is going to be in raids. I need to jump in that high, but it's fine. Okay, get these evolved. Still hasn't rained, so I can't do the Sliggoo yet. Okay. Oh, ooh, what's my favorite shiny? Ooh, that's a good question. Um, my favorite shiny, there's a lot of really good ones. I'm trying to think if there's one specific that stands out above others for me. Um, there's a couple that are shiny locked Pokemon that have really cool shinies that are up there in some of my favorites. I absolutely love the Shiny Koraidon. Shiny Koraidon is so cool, and I'm hoping that eventually they will release it in a special event because I would love to have a Shiny Koraidon. I think that's one of the best shinies that they've created. Um, I love Shiny Chi. Shiny Chi is really cool. Again, another shiny locked one that I'm hoping they'll eventually release. Um, for non-legendaries. Um, yeah, I think the Red Gyarados is a classic, just an iconic one for sure. Um, I I personally do love Shiny Gumi. I have it tattooed on me for a reason. I love that shiny. It's a really fun shiny. Um, I do have to evolve this Gumi. So that's another one that I do really love. But there's so many good shinies out there that I almost feel like you can't have just one favorite because there's so many good ones. How about you, Tyler? What's your favorite shiny? And yeah, I remember when that red Gyarados, like I remember when the games came out and it was just, oh my gosh, there's a Gyarados that's a different color and it was just wild. Hi, Angelica, welcome. I'm not sure if you're asking specifically just about like Pokemon in general or about specific events. Um, There's a lot of really good news sites out there that talk about different Pokemon and also a really good way to get educated about like special events. Cerebi is a good one. I use that one a lot for things. They post about upcoming events. They post across all different games, not just Scarlet and Violet. They'll post for events for all of them. So I definitely recommend them if you're looking for information about Pokemon. They also have just information about all the different Pokemon in the decks, which is also nice because if you're trying to find out information about a specific Pokemon, it's a good one. Um, so I definitely recommend checking out some of the different fan sites that are out there. Like I said, Cerebi is probably the one that has gotten the most like traction and recognition. So they get a lot of information ahead of time and they post things pretty regularly. So if you're looking for information about just Pokemon events or Pokemon specific Pokemon, definitely recommend checking them out. Alolan Ninetales is really interesting. Alolan Ninetales, I think, is a beautiful Pokemon, and I love the shiny. It's one of those really subtle ones. I just realized that I've already gotten my bag on. So who's next? Who do I want to hunt? I have a dragon sandwich going. Um, I'm actually going to use out the rest of the sandwich here because I have a dragon sandwich going, and the rest of the powerhouse Pokemon that are from this event are not dragons. And there's another shiny. Ah, no, come back, come back, come back, come back. Yeah, for Pokemon in general, yeah, Cerebi is a really good place. I definitely also recommend checking out some of the official like pages, like Twitter. the official Twitter for Pokemon. They post news, updates, information about new games. So definitely also recommend checking them out. I follow them on Twitter and Facebook and on TikTok to see what they post for updated information. So there's always new information coming out there. Um, I have a lot of chocolate sandwich. Do I have any other dragons? Hold on, let me just check. Any other dragon outbreaks? My luck, no. Nope. Okay. Shiny Larvitar is nice. Shiny Larvitar is really nice. That is one that I'm planning on hunting after the sandwich. Well, actually, after the sandwich is up, it's probably gonna hit the end of the stream for tonight, though. So I'll on Friday, I'm planning on streaming again to hunt Larvitar and finish up some of these Powerhouse Pokemon for the event. Um, though given that I only have Larvitar left from the event, I'll probably also see if I can reset for some other Powerhouse Pokemon outbreaks. So that way we have other things to hunt. But if there's any Powerhouse Pokemon, so Pseudo-Legendaries that you want to see me hunt for, definitely leave it in the chat, comment it on the video, and I can definitely see about trying to hunt those if they're available in Scarlet or Violet on Friday. So that way we can try to get them. Ponyta and Dratini are both really good shinies. My one disappointment with Dratini is that Dragonite doesn't keep the nice coloring. I I wish Dragonite kept something that wasn't just gross green. Um, since the first two stages are that really nice pink. So that's my one disappointment is that it doesn't keep it all the way through. But it is a nice shiny line in general. Um, the and the pony line's good. Both the Cantonian and the Galarian forms are both really good shinies. And I'm excited because they're going to be having an outbreak event or not an outbreak event, community day in Pokemon Go for both of them coming up in the next few months. So it'll be the opportunity to get more of those shinies, which is good because I have Ponyta and Rapidash Galarian forms in Go, but I have them nicknamed and best buddied, so I don't want to move them out of Go. So if I can move other ones out, that'd be great. So I'm hoping that I'll get some more, so I don't have to move them all out of there. And I still need no, actually, I have regular Ponyta and regular Rapidash from Arceus, so I do have the other ones. Whoop. I did get Shiny Roaring Moon. I used Roaring Moon on one of my competitive teams. And so what I try to do when I do competitive is I try to shiny hunt my entire team for any shinies that are available to get. So for one of my more recent teams, I had Chi-Yu, and obviously I couldn't shiny hunt that one since it is locked. But I do have Shiny Roaring Moon. It is a really nice shiny. I really like the coloration on it. So that is one that I did like hunting. It was nice to hunt. I think at this point I have almost every Paradox shiny. I'm trying to think if there's any Paradox shinies I'm missing. Hi, Prosax, welcome. I have Mareep and I have Ampharos, but I don't have the full line yet. So Flaffy is still, I still have to hunt. I think I might have Flaffy actually. Now I'm thinking about it, I might have that one. once the sandwich runs up, before I end the stream, I'll pop over to Pokemon Home so you can kind of see how I'm categorizing everything since I don't think I've actually shown that on stream before. So, um, I can pop over to that at the end so you can see how I'm categorizing it and kind of what's out there outstanding. Before this stream started, I had over 670 shinies in my living decks. Um, for obtainable shinies for the living decks, my count currently of like ones that I can get, not including duplicate special duplicate forms, is 1089. Duplicate forms will obviously, like gender differences or form differences will obviously up that number, but it does mean that I am more than halfway there, which has been awesome. I'm really excited to be able to get even more than halfway. um Oh, and that is rough. So, and that's the one downside with having the version exclusives. Um Hopefully you'll be able to find someone that maybe you can trade with for like Iron Valiant or something. Iron Valiant's a really cool shiny. It's a really good one. I did a game trade with my husband for it. I hunted a Roaring Moon for him, and he hunted an Iron Valiant for me, because I hadn't gotten the shiny charm in Violet yet. Now at this point, I'm almost to the shiny charm, so I should hopefully be able to get that finished soon, so I can do some shiny hunting over there for some version exclusives. And Mareep is a good Pokemon. Mareep is a good classic. It's really cute. It's well designed. I remember when Gen 2 came out and Mareep was introduced, it immediately jumped to the top of my list of Pokemon that I loved. Every time that I played through, I would rock an Ampharos on my team. It was a necessity for me. Yeah. Ooh, hardest one to find so far on my list. Hmm. There's some Pokemon that are just gonna be difficult to hunt, just because they're only available in like one game, or they're not available in a game where it's easy to hunt for them. So, for example, one of the reasons I'm really glad that they're doing the Shiny Ponyta event in Go is because there's no real way to shiny hunt Galarian Ponyta besides in Sword and Shield. So there's some that you either have to do random encounters and hope for the best or try to Masuda method and egg hunt. So egg hunting is probably one of my least favorite methods of shiny hunting just because it's very tedious and it can take forever. But um sometimes you get very lucky with egg hunting, so it just really just kind of depends on if the fates are on your side that day. Um but I'm trying to think of one that's been the hardest. Um, there's one that's been like the joke now that I'm gonna have to do a redemption stream near the end because when I was attempting to get Torkoal, I just had the worst luck and got basically any Pokemon but Torkoal. So that's been one that's now gonna be on my redemption. I'm about to do a redemption stream. Um, weirdly, Cramorant has been really obnoxious to try to find. I have had multiple Cramorant outbreaks. I have done multiple sandwiches. I think at this point I've done 5 or 6 sandwiches on Cramorant outbreaks and not gotten the shiny. I don't know why the bird hates me. I don't know what I did to make the bird dislike me, but I cannot get the orange bird to show up. So, um I seem to be having the worst luck with that. So I guess Torkoal right now, or not Torkoal. I saw Zen say Torkoal. Uh, so I guess Cramorant right now is on my list of Pokemon that I'm really annoyed at. That has been obnoxious to try to find. But I think it really comes down to how available are the Pokemon? Are they ones that you have to egg hunt, or are they available in Scarlet and Violet for overworld spawns? If they're in Scarlet and Violet for overworld spawns, they're in theory, a lot easier to shiny hunt than other games. Obviously, Cramorant being my weird exception. But it's the ones that are only available in Dynamax Adventures or the ones that are only available in like in Sword and Shield by egg hunting or other games, or even Pokemon that are only available in um BDSP and things like that. Um are ones that are going to be tougher, but I have plans in place for that. So, um, have I ever found an event Pokemon outbreak, but it's not an event outbreak? Um, I've had outbreaks for Pokemon that have been like event outbreaks. Um, so I think at one point I had a Tatsugiri outbreak, but it wasn't the event outbreak, which was pretty funny because it was the wrong form of Tatsugiri in the wrong region. So I've had times where it has spawned certain Pokemon that are also in the event separately. But usually because of the outbreaks for the event taking up so many of the spawns, the chances of that happening are very low. It just happened to be that that was one of the situations where I happened to get Tatsugiri in a different form in the same region. So I have had it happen, but it's not super common, especially with Pokemon that either aren't in the game. So like obviously I can't accidentally get a Hisuian Sliggoo outbreak since they're not in the game, or um like when they did the Alolan Raichu event. Obviously, I can't accidentally get that one, but I've definitely had other outbreaks, other Pokemon that are native to the game show up in outbreaks that weren't the event outbreaks. So it's always funny when that happens. And Zinsk, yeah, I don't know what it was about that Torkoal hunt where it just kept raining, which was just hysterical given that it's Torkoal. And I don't know. I just had the worst luck that day. Well, not the worst luck because I had all the roly polies in the Carkol line, but the worst luck with Torkoals and rain. finish up the last of the sandwich. And then I'll save and pop over to home so you can see kind of where I'm at right now. Take the bag on. Yeah, Tandem Mouse, it's a tough shiny and it's so small. The It would be one thing if it was a big Pokemon, but it is very small. And it's just very frustrating to try to squint at it as it's hopping by, and you're just like, what color are your shirts? So it's very frustrating. So as we're wrapping up, I will say that definitely pop into the chat or comment on the video. Or I'm probably gonna to post a poll as well on like which of the Powerhouse Pokemon that I still need. We want me to go hunt for on Friday. So definitely let me know about that because I'd love to be able to see what people want me to hunt for. And then since I've had some really good luck and I've gotten some extras like bag-ons, and I'll likely have some more on Friday. On Friday's stream, probably I'll do it probably halfway and then towards the end. Any extras that I get, I'll do trades for. So I'll trade and put the code out there so people if they want to get a trade for a shiny Pseudo-Legendary, definitely make sure to watch the chat. There might be a chance that you can get one. So we can finish up this sandwich. See if any of these Cyclizar want to be shiny for me. They run so fast and they zig and zag all over the place. Oop, 2 more seconds of sandwich. Okay. And the sandwich is wrapped. Though before I save, just because I wanna just since Snarky Nerdette has not seen Tandem Mouse before, I'm just gonna jump over so you can see how small Tandem Mouse is. So give me 1 second. We're gonna jump over to uh, here. So you can understand just how tiny this Pokemon is, and you can understand why it's really hard to shiny hunt. See any spot with my luck, none of the Tandem Mouse are gonna spawn. Oh, the Dunnies and Meowths, of course. Okay, well, I attempted. I don't want to spend too long trying to find a mouse. Yeah, hold on. Here. It's not going to be the Tandem Mouse, but I'll show you what their evolved form looks like, because that I know spawns in Force up here. And the evolved form is about the same size, it just has slightly more Pokemon in it, more mice in the family. And then we'll save and we'll pop over to home. Okay. Where are the mice? Okay. Actually, that's a Tandem Mouse. So see how small that Pokemon is? That's a Tandem Mouse. And the difference is literally just the color of their shirts and pants. So it is very obnoxious to try to see what they look like and if they're shiny. So yeah, it is a nightmare to try to shiny hunt. So I'm not looking forward to eventually having to shiny hunt that. Cool. Let me go ahead. I'm going to save and then I'm going to jump over to Pokemon Home quickly so you can kind of see how the categorization and the sorting's going on that. Right? That is just unfair. They really just don't like us. Let me make sure I saved, but now my brain's like, gotta double save. Okay. So in Pokemon Home, I have all my Pokemon sorted out in by numbers into boxes. So we went through and I labeled every box for every Pokemon number in the national dex. Um, and then had them all sorted. So as I go through, every time I complete a shiny hunt um in one of the games, I move it over to here so it's in order. So you can see I have them, like I said, straight through numerical number, like numerical order. And then I go all the way out to this box doesn't have anything because it's all Pokemon that are locked, but because it's all, legendaries and stuff. But um and then I have them sorted by regional forms, so Alola regional, Galar regional. Um this I haven't finished sorting. This is actually Hisui, but I started to do it and then distracted myself earlier today. Um but I have them sorted out, so alternate forms, Paldea, etc. So that way I'm able to keep track of all of them and kind of look through and see like what do I have, what do I need, etc. So this is where once I catch them, this is where they go and I go through. So again, I have some of the um Paradox Pokemon. I think at this point I'm missing a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm missing one future paradox. It looks like I'm missing. What am I missing? Iron Thorns. I'm missing Iron Thorns. Had to look through which ones I had. So I am missing Iron Thorns. It's the one paradox I am missing, but for the most part, I do have like all the paradox Pokemon. My Paldea Dex is pretty strong in being filled out because it's been very easy to hunt there, obviously. But um so yeah, so working through it. So my intent is to stream any interesting hunts. There's some that are going to be a nightmare that I'm sure people aren't going to want to watch, like Panda Mouse. I'm sure everyone's going to be tired of staring at little mice shirts. So some of these I'm probably going to do off stream. But for other ones, my intention is to stream them so you guys can all follow along. Like I said, right now I have between here and home, because I still have a bunch of them in home that I'm slowly moving over. I have over 600. Currently, I have over 500 here in the in home. But I have over like 150 of them sitting in Go, Pokemon Go, waiting to move over. I just can only move 5 at a time. So uh, at this point, I'm really excited to be able to continue on this adventure. I really appreciate everybody stopping in today. We had a lot of new people stop in. Hopefully, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit like on this video. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to stay up to date on future streams. My intention is to stream on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern. So definitely look out for that. Otherwise, I look forward to continuing to chat with all of you in the future. Stay shiny.